Yes, welcome. So let's go for the good stuff. As in the previous video, we filtered out the firms based on their listing in S&P 100 and FTSE 100, and we got 96 firms, as you can see in this summary table over here. Now, what I mentioned in the previous video that by default you are going to get all this information, but if you want to do some sort of research and you need some additional information besides the company name, these codes and the asset and employee figures, you need to click here. This is the add remove column. So this add remove column, the moment you click, it will take you to a new window. And this place is where you can include more information based on your need. There are a vast amount of information available for you to download. However, please try to restrict your needs and download or include items, remembering that the more column that you add, the more pressure it will put in the database, and sometimes it will take very long for the data to download. So probably you can just download a bits and pieces of information at a time, not everything in one go. Just a simple tip. I learned it the hard way. So, for example, if we want to remove the current selections, for example, you don't want to look at the company, for example, NSE REV code. That's something I don't know what this is. I'm not very used to this. So you can simply click here and it will go. If you want to get it back, you can just get it back from the left, where you have on your left, you have all this information that you can bring it to the right. So just remember things that you have three columns over here. You have a column under help, then you have a column under show codes, and then you have a column under remove all. So the one in the left is where you have all the information listed available for you. You can search for them in the middle, and then when you click add, they come to the right, and that is the column, the information that you can see for the companies you have selected using the filter that you have done in the previous videos or in the previous step. So, one way to add information is you can just simply look at the list. For example, you are thinking about some sort of financial data. What you can do is you can click on financial data, and you can have a look at the account header. You can go for key financials and employees. You can go for global standard format. One important or important area for you to have a look at is global ratios. Here you will find a lot of very important and useful financial data available. So the global ratio, you can see they are divided into banks and corporate. So be careful what you are looking for. If you're looking for bank related data, probably it's a good idea to search under banks. And once you click here, you can see gives you four different classifications. So you have four different types of ratios. One is their asset quality, capital ratio, operation ratio, and liquidity ratio. So for example, you want to have a look at the asset quality. So click here, and here are all the information and in the format of ratio. So you can see it is something divided by something as a format of ratio. You can just pick and choose whichever item you think you need. You just include these. To include any item in the middle, you just have to click on the plus icon. So for example, you want to include the impaired loan by total equity on the right. So click plus. And immediately you can see that the impaired loan by total equity is over here. And one thing you can see, the financial information, for example, total asset, number of employee, impaired loan by total equity ratio are all available for the last available year. And the last available year here is 2023. So what if you want this data for more than 1 year? To get the information for any of these items for more than 1 year, you have to click on this small wheel. So the moment you click on that wheel, this pop-up window comes up and it gives you the option to choose how many years of data you want over here. So if you want to look at relative, that means relative to the current year, you can get information up to the last 29 years. So in total, you can get data for 30 years from BankFocus at a time. Or if you want to have a look at the actual year information, you can click on absolute and they will tell you, okay, what absolute information you can do. So you can get the data in annual format or you can get the data in quarterly format, whichever you want. But if you are looking for quarter, it's going to give you 30 quarters. Over here, it is going to give you data for almost like 30 years. But remember, if you choose 2024, nothing will appear. They don't have any data for 2024. So you just need to know, check. Just check the boxes as many years as you want. But remember that BankFocus, even though it shows 1995, but they do not have much data for companies that goes that long. So probably you will get data for majority of the firms until 2007 or 5. So for the time being, we have chosen from 15 until 23. Now you just save. So what happened? The system has now decided or have understood that you are looking for data for any item from 2015 until 2023. So the next time, for example, I go to capital ratio and I click on tier 1 capital, you will see by default. You don't have to do this every time. It will appear by default. So you can also search for information. For example, return. Let me see, return on asset, and the return on asset are here. I click and it will appear. So it's up to you. Either you go on the left, search, look at the information that is available. By clicking here, the group of information will appear on the middle, and you click on the plus sign, it will come to the right. If you want to choose more than a year, you have to click on the wheel. So once you're happy that you have all the information that you have on the right, click apply. So remember, the more companies that you include and the more columns that you have, uh, the database will take longer and longer to populate and download those information for you. So just again and again telling this to make sure that you remember. So here you go. You have all the information over here. And one thing you just need to remember that if you choose a lot of different columns, you will not see everything. For example, if you choose like 200 columns, the database can only show you 26 or 27 columns in this display. So just to keep in mind, when you download, everything will come, you will be able to get all the information. Don't worry if you cannot see all the columns. The database sometimes will give you an notification that all the columns are here. You will get, don't worry, you cannot view everything at the same time. So that's it. Just before I go, you have several view options. You have the standard view and you have the free view. So if you click on the free view is actually, it's like this. It's just these 4 columns and you just need to go on and keep on going for the next pages to see everything. The standard view, it gives you an a better reflection of all the information available. So that's for you to have. Um, Okay, this is something I did not expect. So once you change the view, the columns that we have included has gone. So just keep that in mind. Don't change the view after you have chosen the columns. There is a possibility the column that you have added will be gone. So this is something I just realized right now. Something you just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to end the video here, and in the next video we are going to have a look at how to download the data that you have chosen. So there are several options available for you, and I'll try to cover this in the next video. Until then, have a nice day. Bye.